Patrick Byers, Horticulture Field Specialist with University of Missouri Extension. I'm so excited to be out here in an elderberry planting and to be interviewing one of the most innovative elderberry growers that I know, and that's Sherry Hagenhoff. So Sherry, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about the farm?
Okay, hi, I'm Sherry Hagenhoff, and this is Sauk River Valley Elderberry and Elderflower Farm. And we are just nestled literally on the Little Sauk River. We've been here since 2015 is when we started preparing and planting, and this is our third season for a good solid harvest. In the first season to have everything in production that
Excellent.
We're harvesting.
So how many plants do you have here?
We have roughly 2,800 plants.
Okay. Now, elderberry is a relatively new crop for Southwest Missouri, and your farm is kind of leading the way as far as showing the potential for this crop here. But what first got you interested in elderberry?
Well, I actually had really significant improvements in my health by some of the things that I did and myself using other things besides elderberries, but I began to see the potential for eating right and doing the right things, and I started researching, and I saw the potential for elderberry as not only a way for us to make a little money on our couple acres that we have available, but also just to provide something very healthy for our community and different, and we like a challenge. My husband and I are hard workers, so.
Well, it certainly shows in what you've developed here in a relatively short period of time. So again, the farm's relatively young, but if you don't mind, kind of talk about the different cultivars you have here and how the planting is laid out.
Okay, well, the very first things that we planted to start with were Bob Gordon and ranch and a little bit of wildwood. We put out like 500 ranch plants to start, 350 Bob Gordon and 200 of wildwood. That was our first plantings. Then 18 months ago, we also added Adams to that, and we added Pocahontas, the newest and greatest.
The newest and greatest.
Yes, and so this is the second summer for the newest plants to be in production. So.
Very good. Well, it's a nice mix of different cultivars. It gives you more of a spread out season. Very good. So I'm curious, you've got the farm underway, you're harvesting elderberries, you're in business in essence. What would you see as some of the challenges to growing elderberries here in Southwest Missouri?
I think in the very beginning, it was the agriculture industry that would support us, providing what we needed. We weren't sure all the things that we needed in the way of irrigation and prepping and just what materials we needed, so we really relied on NRCS, we really relied on the extension, we relied on businesses that we were dealing with to educate us and to help us understand what we needed and we had to learn how to describe what we needed. But so one was our agricultural suppliers, communicating with them and just getting everything out there. We could not just go up into Springfield, Missouri and get the products that we needed. We found out we had to literally go to certain places to get what we needed. Also, I think all along labor has always been an issue. To find qualified people, people with the energy and the stamina, it's intense. So finding people who could come and get the job done and kind of make a win-win situation where they were at least making some decent money, but also for us to be able to afford it. And in the beginning, we did a lot more of the work ourselves. The machinery, finding the machinery that would cut time and help with production as well. We slowly built up. We didn't go into a lot of debt, so we had to build up what supplies we had to process everything. So I think that the labor, the machinery, and the ag industry supporting us, and I think those were really the bigger ones.
So tell me about how you market the crop.
Okay, I was very transparent and very real, and I call myself Sherry Plain and Small. From the very beginning, I just shared from my heart, this is our dream, and come along with us. And more and more people started following along and just kind of seeing from planting or putting out compost and tilling rows and putting in little sticks in the ground, and I've just really invited everybody to follow us, and as that grew, more and more people became aware of us. I literally have a Facebook page that I do that with, and I was still working at the time full-time, so I just quit that last October, so it's been a nice hefty balance to try to get everything done. But I post on Facebook when we have our berries available for sale. I post on Craigslist, and word of mouth has really grown for us. And we sell frozen, destemmed wash berries. I'm a DIY girl, and it appeals to me to try to provide. I thought if people are buying dried and imported berries, why wouldn't they want locally grown even more? And so for those DIY folks like myself, I've sold berries to them and shown them how to make. I've done classes, how do you make products with those berries, and just shown them all the possibilities. So.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. So you touched on a chord that I think is really important, and that's sort of developing community around a new crop like elderberry. And through your Facebook presence, your social media presence, you've been a leader, quite frankly, in helping develop elderberries here in Southwest Missouri. Do you want to comment on that?
Well, I do network with area growers. My husband and I know how painful it was to get started and learn everything, and so as we would go to conferences at River Hills Harvest and work with you folks, we really reached out and hugged onto the folks that are nearby us so that we could provide them the support that we could. We also, we have workshops here for area farmers. We just try to get everybody together so everybody knows what is available, what they need to do. Many of them have come and done work days and worked here through the summer. We have had some out-of-state folks come and visit, but we're a nice tight-knit community here in Southwest Missouri. We have a Southwest Missouri Pod. We have a Facebook group for that. We've just tried to share knowledge. Everybody has something to contribute, and that's the wonderful thing. Everybody has something they know more about, and so we give opportunities for people to speak up and share what they know, and we've shared from our mistakes to our failures to our successes, and so.
Well, that's huge, and I appreciate the role that you played in helping grow our industry here in Southwest Missouri. So what do you think the future looks like for Sac River elderberries?
Well, I've got to keep employees. There's no way, like essentially we have 3 acres. There is no way we could do all the work, the harvesting, and right now we hire folks mainly to help with harvesting, and my husband and I do all the processing. I hope we will just continue to increase our volume of berries over time, but I also hope that we can continue also just to provide the frozen elderberries. We are starting to go into producing some added value market products, and so we'll get those out there and start pushing those out to the public. But I hope we're here. This is a retirement thing for my husband and I. Like I said, I quit working full-time in October. He's got a couple years and he'll be able to back off of work, and so hopefully it'll be an intense month of the year during harvest for us every year after this, but I do hope that we'll be around and we can keep. It's cool when we can employ area youth and give them a job, and their parents are all thrilled and love it that this is the kind of work they can find to do. They're all learning, and I tell you, I can't say enough for just the community of people, from our customers to our elderberry grower friends and around the world. I mean, we've had a visitor here from England. We've had visitors here from, like I said, all different states: Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and we just hope that we can continue to share what we've learned, and we just hope to continue to support the industry.
Oh, that's fabulous. And people, of course, can follow your progress on your Facebook page.
Yes, yes.
What is the address of that?
It's Sauk River Valley Elderberry and Elderflower Farm. And yeah, they're on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for the interview, Sherry. This has been fabulous. Thank you for sharing the story of Sac River Elderberry and Elderflower Farm.
Well, we're happy to do it, always. Thank you.